I was thinking about this version of myself, all right? I was picturing something like this in my head. And by going to the gym every day, by following my meal plans, by following my macro intake, by tracking my calories almost every day, I turned myself into that version by learning about training, by learning about nutrition, by learning about recovery. They just can't comprehend the fact that I am a lifetime natural, all right? Your body, your mind, your spirit adjusts to what you do, and then you become that version. But you have to remember that no one's coming to save you, all right? You have to save yourself. But in order to save yourself, you just have to make an investment into yourself. All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Another week has passed. It's Sunday morning again. I just got done with my morning workout, and what I want to talk about today is my 4:45 wake up that I do every single morning, all right? I started this about 4 or 5 weeks ago because I was tired of staying in bed until 8 a.m., even 7 a.m., you know. I wanted to change. I wanted to get up early. I wanted to be more productive. I wanted to start my day off with something positive because I was really going back in my life and, you know, going through the memories and thinking about the times in my life when I was really on the best track overall, okay? And you should be doing the same thing if you're struggling in life, if you have something that's holding you back, if something just feels off. Think about the times in your life when stuff was going right, when you were most productive, when you were the happiest in life, and then start doing those things again. So I sat down at my desk, I wrote out my entire life story, all right? I kid you not, this took me like 3 days or so, but I started at the very beginning, like the earliest days I can remember in my childhood, wrote down what I was doing there, my characteristics and so on, all the way to, you know, my weed addiction phase where I didn't have any point in life whatsoever, where my life didn't have any meaning, and up to the point when I started working out. And I realized that there was a time in my life when I was waking up this early and I was feeling great. I was getting stuff done. I always had my workout as the very first thing in the morning after eating something, which you should be doing too, all right? You should be eating something before you work out, fast digestible carbs, so that you can actually perform. But I had this workout early. I woke up early. I had a cold shower as well. I'm not doing that right now, but yeah, so I was thinking back to that, and then I realized, like, look, you just got to get up early again and things are going to get better. And what happened? I started getting up early again and things instantly improved almost, okay? And now the important part is that at the very beginning, it fucking sucked, okay? Getting up that early was like, it was like being thrown off a ship, like being walked on the fucking plank and then pushed into the open ocean. Like, it felt terrible hearing that alarm at going off in the middle of the night, essentially, right? At a time where I was normally still sleeping, where I was normally still in bed. But yet I got up every single day at that time, and day by day, it got a bit easier, all right? The first day was good. The first day was actually one of the best days because I felt so motivated, right? And that's always the case. When you start something new, you're like super motivated to do the thing because in your head, you're just thinking about the good stuff that's going to come from it. But you don't think about the fact that you have to do it every single day from there on. You don't think about the fact that even when you go to bed late, you still have to get up early in the morning in order to win that mental battle, in order to adhere to the goals that you've set for yourself. So you always think about the good stuff at the very beginning. You are super motivated like I was, right? I woke up the first day. I was like, yeah, like I made it out of bed, right? I put my phone in the opposite corner of the room so that I had to get up from bed in order to turn off the alarm, and it worked. So I was up, I was super motivated. I even made an Instagram reel. I might just play it here. And yeah, so I felt great. I felt like I had conquered my mind in that moment, which I did. But then the next day came around, and then the next day came around, and then the day after that came around, and all of a sudden I didn't feel as motivated anymore because my body, I was not used to getting up that early in the morning. So it felt terrible, all right? I was tired, I was having a headache, and I was constantly thinking about just going back to bed and staying in bed and just saying, fuck that 4:45 wake up. Like, I'm not gonna do that shit. I'm just gonna go and wake up at 7 or 8 like I normally would. But I didn't. I stuck to the 4:45 wake up because from my past experiences in life, I know that you have to go through the phases that suck in order to get to a point where it's just a habit. It's just part of you, all right? Now, 5 weeks in, maybe 6 weeks in, I don't remember exactly when I started doing this stuff, but this is part of me right now, okay? I get up at this time. It's not a problem anymore. It's just part of my life. It's part of my routine. It's normal to me to wake up at that time. It's normal to me to go to bed at 8 p.m. so I can still get enough sleep in order to recover perfectly, so that when I wake up, I feel good, my muscles are recovered, my mind is fresh, and I can attack these workouts in here, like I'm in a gym parking lot right now, in here every single day, even though I'm waking up this early. And this goes for basically anything that you do in life, all right? I made this video of, forging yourself into the man that you want to become, and it is the absolute truth. You have to do things over and over and over again that this person that you want to become would do, all right? So in your head, imagine the person that you want to be, let's say 2 years from now, 3 years from now, even 5 years from now, maybe even just 6 months from now. And then think about the stuff that this person would have to do every single day, or the stuff that this person does on a daily basis, all right? And once you have that figured out, you can then start doing the stuff now in this exact moment. And then by doing the stuff that this person would do in the future, your future version of yourself would do, you're going to turn into that version. Like, this is how you transform. This is how you change. And this works. This works greatly. Like, it works. It has worked for me over and over and over again in my life, all right? When I just take getting in shape as an example, building my dream physique, look at where I'm at right now, okay? I'm pretty satisfied. Like, I'm never satisfied. I'm always striving for more, but I think I look pretty decent right now. And 5 years ago, I was thinking about this version of myself, all right? I was picturing something like this in my head. And by going to the gym every day, by following my meal plans, by following my macro intake, by tracking my calories almost every day, I turned myself into that version by learning about training, by learning about nutrition, by learning about recovery, and then applying these things to my life. I turned into that version that now has this physique. And the same thing again goes for self-development as well. If you want to become a better man, if you want to build a closer relationship to God, if you want to build your own business, you have to do the stuff that will lead you there. And the only way to become that person is by being that person right now. Your body, your mind, your spirit adjusts to what you do, and then you become that version, okay? The stuff that you feed your body, the stuff that you're reading, all of these things influence the way that you're going to change over time. But this is what I wanted to cover, all right? Because now it's super easy for me to wake up at this time. It's just a part of my life. It's part of me. I am that person now that wakes up at this time, and it's just not a problem anymore. Same with working out. At the very beginning, like, yeah, I wasn't used to working out. I didn't like working out that much, but now I can't even think about not working out anymore. I'm addicted to working out. Working out is just part of me. It's part of my life, and I will do it for the rest of my life. Like, it's not hard for me to go to the gym. It's not hard for me to go hard in there. It's not hard for me at all to stick to my meal plans, because this is just what I do. And you can turn yourself into that person as well if you just keep going when things suck. If you just keep going when you don't want to keep going, because there will be times when it's tough. There will be times where you don't have the motivation. There will be times where you just don't want to continue walking that path. But that is when you have to just keep going, keep on persevering, and then you become that person at some point. With this workout that I do on Sunday mornings, it's the same thing. 5 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago, when I started this, it sucked. Like, I could barely breathe anymore at the end of that workout, all right? I was constantly taking breaks because I just couldn't finish that whole workout in one sitting. But now I go through the whole workout without a pause. I get to the end. I still have energy to push at the very end. And yeah, it's still hard. Like, I'm still getting there. I'm still adjusting to this type of workout, but it's getting easier and easier by the day. And Trust me guys, it'll be the same thing once you finally start doing what you have to do in order to change. But with that being said, I just wanted to touch on one thing that I've seen in my comments section, especially on my reels for the last couple of days. So some people, they just can't comprehend the fact that I am a lifetime natural. All right, what's so impressive about my transformation? It was 8 months, or some of those video clips are 6 months apart, but think about that. 6 months of concentrated effort, 6 months of high intensity training combined with perfect workout programs, combined with perfect meal plans, combined with me just executing on the stuff every single day. Like I was living that lifestyle, all right? And this is possible in 6 months if you just do that. On top of that, I was coming back of an injury, meaning that in the first 1 to 2 months, I was gaining muscle back so much faster because muscle memory kicked in. This is an effect that happens when you had some time off from working out. Could be an injury, could be a sickness, could be whatever. And then you start doing the stuff right. Like your body remembers the muscle mass that you had before, and then it puts it back on faster. Okay, first 2 months went like that, and after that I just continued doing the stuff right. I was in a slight calorie deficit, which led me to gain strength and even muscle size during my cut. Like, yeah, it is possible if you do things right. Okay, 6 months is half a year. And the people that think this isn't achievable natural, they just think that because they are not willing to put in the work. They are not willing to do the hard stuff that they would have to do in order to get there. Because I promise you guys, if they actually followed my workout programs, my meal plans, my intensity, they would be able to make the same transformation happen. But because they always put in mediocre effort into their workouts, they don't track their calories, they don't track their macros. Like, yeah, they can't believe it. They can't comprehend it because they would never be able to do it the way that they go about doing things. But not to go into detail on this too much, all right? Right now I'm going through the same thing. 8 weeks ago, I started my cut. I was not injured at that time whatsoever. And in just 8 weeks, I made this transformation happen, all right? Like this is 8 weeks apart. And it's the same thing again, all right? High body fat at the very start. I was still training. I was still going to the gym. I was still taking stuff seriously, but I didn't have my nutrition completely in check. And then I put it in check. Then I focused completely on the gym, on recovery, on nutrition again. And boom, this is what I was able to do in just 8 weeks. So it is possible if you just do things the right way, okay? And the people that don't believe it, they just don't believe it because they could never do it. That's just their limiting belief because they never put in the effort that would even take him to that point. It's as easy as that. And I also wanted to keep you updated on my self-development. So last week, I think was a pretty good week. When I think back to last week, I had a lot of qualification calls for my coaching. As I said to you guys, I'm working on the business more than ever before, all right? I'm putting in so much effort to just give my current clients the best experience ever, but then also to reach other people and to see if they would even qualify to be on the team. Because I'm telling you right now, I'm not working with people who aren't as dedicated as I am, who aren't as determined as I am to make that change in their lives. So I had a couple qualification calls. There's a lot more leads coming in because of the content output that I'm having right now, okay? I'm putting out so much content. I'm putting out good content. Next week's gonna be, well, this video is probably gonna be out a week later, but at that time, I will have posted my full workout routine here on YouTube and also on Instagram. So yeah, the content is going crazy right now, and that's why more people are reaching out nowadays. And then last week I had 5 qualification calls, I think, of which I didn't take any of them into my coaching because they just didn't qualify, okay? They did not want it bad enough. 3 of them I just didn't take in. 2 of them, they just weren't willing to make the investment, to make the financial investment into the coaching. And I'm telling you guys, yes, it costs money. Like, that's the whole point of getting a coach. You have to make this financial investment. You have to make that sacrifice, because if you don't, I could hand out the best workout programs to you. I could hand out the best meal plans to you. But if it's for free, you're not going to stick to it. If it's for free, you're not going to follow through on those workout programs, on those meal plans. So making that financial investment, of course, it's going to hurt at the very beginning, but then you actually have flesh in the game. Then you actually have something that gets you up in the morning, because I can't get up in the morning for you. I can't go to the gym for you. I can't eat the food for you. Like, you still have to do that yourself. And by making a financial investment into something like this, you are automatically more invested. All right, you want to get your money's worth, and that's why it costs money. It's as simple as that. Because if I were to give it out for free, no one would fucking follow it. No one would see the results that they are trying to get. And that is just crazy to me, how people, they say they want to do this stuff. They say they want it so bad. Like, I had people on these calls that were saying all these things like, I'm being called out, I'm being called a fat ass. I've been struggling with this for 9 months, 12 months, like 2 years. I've tried all these different things and nothing has worked for me so far. And at the end of the call, they are not willing to make the financial investment. And then what happens is they are still going to pay. They are still going to pay with their time, trying to figure things out on their own, which will probably not work because it hasn't worked so far. And then they're just gonna stay stuck, and they will also pay with the pain that they get from staying stuck, with the pain that they get from being in that same situation for another 6 months, for another 9 months, for another 12 months, until they finally take that step, that leap of faith to make an investment and to take things into their own two hands. But this is just how things go. All right, some people just aren't ready yet to make that step forward, and that's okay. But you have to remember that no one's coming to save you. All right, you have to save yourself. But in order to save yourself, you just have to make an investment into yourself. And I'm not just talking about coaching. I'm not just talking about financial investment. There is going to be some type of investment that has to be made. There's going to be some type of sacrifice that has to be made in order to change. You're going to have to sacrifice money. You're going to have to sacrifice time. You're going to have to sacrifice sleep. Like, whatever it is, you will never change if you don't make that sacrifice, if you don't make that change. Like, in order to change, in order to do things differently, you have to make a sacrifice in some sort of way, okay? You guys get what I'm saying? I hope you do, because otherwise you will stay stuck in your current situation for the rest of your life. If you're okay with that, that's fine. But I'm not okay with that, and I want to help people who aren't okay with that either, because I've had to change myself. I know what it takes, and I want you to be able to do the same thing. But that's gonna be it for today. Great week. Last week, I worked a lot on videos. I worked a lot on the business. I worked a lot on myself. So this was a really positive week. And now this next week is going to be even better. My birthday is coming up. I'm turning 25. On the day after that, I have a call with my mentor, which I am extremely excited about. Talking about the mentor that I have, right? I made the financial investment to work with this guy as well. And it hurt. It was a big investment, okay? Way more than my coaching. And at the very beginning, I was scared to make the investment, but I knew that I had to do it, because from this guy, I can learn so much. I can save so much time trying to figure this thing out on my own, because I know that he has been through it, that he has taught other people how to do it as well. And that's why I decided to work with him. So I made the investment, and now I'm so into it. I'm so dedicated to making this change. Like, this is all I want, because I made the financial investment. I want to get my money's worth, and I will 100% get my money's worth from this. And then overall, I'm just going to continue what I have been doing. I'm going to continue to improve on all aspects of life, spiritually, mentally, and physically. And I hope that you guys are doing the same thing. I'll keep you guys posted. I'll talk to you next Sunday or even before that. Stay tuned for the next couple of weeks. There's going to be a lot of great educational videos coming out from my side. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.